Hi guys, welcome to DP Animations. So today we are going to create a template based on a film strip like the one on the screen. Okay, you can either insert pictures or videos. So let's not waste time. Let's open After Effects. Okay, so first let me bring the assets or materials to be used. Okay, so I have these materials here. Let me select them all, then bring them in. Okay. All right. Now let me create a folder, then place them inside pictures. So let me select the images, then load them inside our picture folder. Okay. All right. So we have this. So now let's create a composition with a width of something like 20,000 and a height of 720. Okay. Let's name it strip. Okay. All right. So I have this film gate here. This. Now let me extend it a bit. So this is okay. By extending it a bit or stretching it a bit, it looks more like an HD. So this is okay. Now duplicate it. Then move it. Use the right arrow key to move it to the right side. Okay. Select the two, duplicate. Then use the right arrow key to move it to the right side again. Now select the four, duplicate. Use the arrow key and move them to the right side. Okay, so from here, let's create a new composition, 1920 by 1080. Then name it picture 1. Picture 1. Okay. All right. So now let's bring the first picture. This one. Let me just scale it down. So somewhere here is okay. So let me see. Picture 1. Where did it fall? Okay, fall inside here. So let me create a folder for the picture com. Let me name this one picture com. Picture com. Okay. Now select picture 1 and move it inside picture com. Now what we are going to do is we are going to duplicate picture 1 a couple of times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Up to something like 20 is okay. All right. So now let's open all the picture coms. So picture 1 is already open. So let's open picture 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Let me finish replacing these ones before we continue. So let me replace the picture in picture 2. Let me clear this one. Then scale this one down. Picture 3. Let me clear this one. Then scale this one down. Picture 4. Hit S and scale it down. Picture 5. S and scale it down. Okay. So let me quickly replace all the pictures in the coms. Okay, now that we have finished replacing all the pictures in all the picture coms, let's close the coms, all the picture coms that we opened. Okay. Okay. So now let's create a new composition, something like 20,000 by 720, and let's name it from 1. Okay. So what you are going to do is with from 1, composition. Let's click and drag strip come inside. All right, then come to effects and type fill and apply fill to it, then change the color to white. Okay, so we have the film gates in row in film 1. So what we are going to do is we are going to place the pictures underneath the film gates. So let's come to the picture comes. So picture 1, let's click and drag it under here, scale it. Let's scale it somewhere here. Let's see. Let me scale it well and see where it ends. So somewhere here is okay. Somewhere here is okay. Or you can just use the rectangular masking tool, then draw across it. Okay. That way to be faster instead of using the arrow key to be moving and scaling. So you have something like this for picture 1. Okay. So from here, all that you have to do is just duplicate picture 1, Control D. Then you use the arrow key to move it. You see that? Just use it to move it to the other film gate. Okay. You duplicate, select the 2, duplicate again, then move them. Okay. So let me quickly place the pictures under these film gates and let's continue. Okay. All right. Okay, so now we have finished placing the pictures under the film gates. Okay, so you have something like this. So now that you have left the pictures under, what you are going to do is we are going to replace the pictures here. You see that I just repeated the picture 1 throughout. So I'll select the picture 3, then replace it with picture 2. Hold the Alt key, then click and drag to replace it. Select the next picture. Hold the Alt key, click and drag to replace it. The next picture, hold the Alt key, click and drag to replace it. So let me quickly replace these images, okay? Okay, now we are done replacing all the images in the scene, okay? Now let's create a new composition, 1920 by 1080. Let's name this one row. Okay, so inside row, what we do is we will click and drag from 1 into row. All right, so we have something like this. Now come to effects and type CC cylinder. You see it's here. Just double click on it to apply the effect. All right, so when it comes like this, come here, you see the empty box here. That's for collapse transformation. So just click there. Then you have your cylinder. Okay. Once you click there, you see your cylinder. All right. So now let's come to the CC cylinder effects. So under rotation, let's leave it for now. Let's come to position. Let me go in a bit, or let me just leave it like this. Okay. Let me just leave it like this. So from here, we are going to roll the cylinder. But to do that, we are not going to use rotation on CC cylinder, which is we are not going to use that. We are not going to use this. Okay, we are not going to use this. Or when you come to transformational rotations, we are not going to use this too. Remember, we are not going to use this. So we are going to use the anchor point. Okay. So you hit A. You click on A on the keyboard to bring the anchor point. Then you set a key at the beginning. Then come to something like 15 seconds. Then where it says 10,000, type there 0. Okay. So now let's see what we have. Okay. You see now it's rolling. Okay. So from here, duplicate the from 1, then rename this one small, okay, then duplicate the from 1 again, then place 1 on top of small, then the one on top, come to the cylinder, CC cylinder effects, okay, then where it says full, change it to outside, all right, then the bottom one, where it says full, change it to inside, okay. Now select the small, then come to radius, then scale it down a bit by using the radius, okay, then you come to position, then move it upwards. You see this? Move it up small, so somewhere here is okay, all right. So you have something like this. You see, it gives you that perception of a foam rolling or a rolling tape, okay. All right, so I think this is okay. Okay, now let's create another composition. Let's see. It's going to something like 20,000 by 1080. Let's name this one from row. Okay. Now let's bring from 1 inside from row. Okay. Now let's bring also, let me see, row. Let's bring row also in. Okay. So we have row and from 1 inside from row. Okay. So what you are going to do is here, we are going to mask the from. Okay. So select the rectangular masking tool, then click and drag across the from 1. Okay. Click and drag across the from 1. So here, just cut from the right side to the middle of where the from row is. So we have something like this. So we have something like this. Okay. Now what you are going to do is you are going to use the masking to animate here. Okay. But before that, hit P on the row. P is for position. So you hit P at the beginning. Then 15 seconds. You move it to the last end there. Okay, you move row to the last end there. So something like this. Okay, let me see the speed first. I think it's too slow. So let me bring it to something like, let me see. 13 seconds. And let's see. We have this. You see the tape is rolling. Okay. So from here, come to the from 1. So on max, under max on from 1, set a key on max path. Okay. Then drag the timeline to something like 13 frames. Then you double click on the max 1, then move it to where the from row ends. See, you position it in the middle. Okay, so you have this. As the tape is being rolled, the images are being formed. Okay. All right. So here is the thing. You see that you can set it in such a way that when this image rolls, you see this particular image underneath it. In this case, when you come to row, when you come to row here, instead of the anchor point starting from positive, you have to go negative. Okay, you have to go negative, or you can still go a positive figure, or in this case a higher figure. Okay, all right, so now let's continue. Now let's create another composition. Let's name it main. Let's name it main. So this is going to be our main, and let's make it HD 1920 by 1080. So let's click OK. So this is our main. This is where we are going to do our final animation. Okay. Now let's bring in film row. Let's bring in film row. Okay, let's make it 3D. All right. Now what we are going to do is, let's bring in a camera, new camera. Okay. Now let's right click in again, new, null objects. Let's bring the null objects. Let's make the null object 3D, and let's name it control. Okay. Now let's parent the camera to the control. All right. So now wherever the control goes, the camera follow. Okay. So we have this. So let me duplicate film row, then push one to the back. Okay. Now camera, and now let me stand on control, then go in, then maybe the one under, let me rotate it on Z, so somewhere here. I'll push this one away, duplicate it again, then maybe rotate this one, let me see, 0, somewhere here. Okay, so you have something like this, and push this one backwards. Let me see. So it depends on what kind of style you want. You can just play around with these. Okay, just throw them about. All right. Okay, so you have something like this, or in 3D. All right. So from here to something like maybe 2 seconds on control, let me hit P on control, then set a key at somewhere here, then something like 2 seconds, I go in or zoom out to bring the next scene, which is this one. Okay, so I'll bring this particular scene. I'll come in like this. So let's see what we have. That was too slow. So let me select the two keys, then easy ease them. You come in like this, fast, stay there small. All right, so let me give it a pause here, then move the timeline a bit forward, then come in, zoom in towards us like this. See that? So it brings it in, then comes in towards us. Comes in towards us, then maybe chase the row that's going on there, this particular row. All right. See? So I think this, let me take this particular key off. So let's see what we have here. Okay. So from here, let's set a key here. Then maybe from here to here, let's come down also. Let's come down. Okay. So here we can decide to bring any of these ones, the ones under. So let me duplicate this particular one, bring it here, then hit rotation, which is 0. So okay, let me flip this one the other way around. So from here to here, let me just flip it like this, so I have something like this. So let me push it backwards, so I have something like this. Okay, let's see. So let's see what we have. I think this one, the interval here is too much, so let me bring it in. Then let me bring this one a bit closer, so we have something like this again. Let's see. See that? So when this one views this one, maybe that we should give it a pause there small before it goes in to reveal what is here. So let's go in again to view this particular image under. Okay. All right. So now let's see what we have. Okay, beautiful. All right. So with the animation that we have done so far, I think it's okay. So what's left is, let's come to camera, hit position, then hold the Alt key, then click the stopwatch here, then type wiggle into brackets 1 comma let me see, 25, then bracket close. So let's see what we have. Let's see what we have. I think it's too slow, so let me go 2 and see. Okay, so this is okay. So this is okay. But if you think the wiggling is not much for you, you can still add if you want. Okay, you just have to come here, then increase it to something like 3, and then maybe it will work for you. See that? Okay, so from here, let's try to end it. Okay, view this one, then go down, then view this image, then maybe from here let's go up again, or to view the title. Okay, so from here let's give it a pause there. So from here let's just go up to view the title. Okay, so the title may be up here. All right, so let's create a new composition, 1920 by 1080, then give it text, something like text. Okay, and let's type something like the end. Now let me scale it up a bit more. Okay, so when we come here, the main, and where is the image? Is it this one? just duplicate it, then hold the Alt key, then click and drag the text to replace the duplicated one. Okay, so stand on X, then move it. So let's just flip it. All right, so now let's move it upwards. So let's see, stay there small, then goes up to bring the end here. Okay, and then let me move it up, then move it in. Okay, so we can duplicate one of the, maybe let me see this particular one. Let's duplicate it, then bring it into the scene. Okay, then push it backwards. Let me see, push it backwards, or you can decide to rotate it. Let me see, let me move this one here. So you have something like this. You duplicate again, then move it upwards, then rotate it. Okay, it's your own style, the way you want it. Just arrange it randomly, anyhow you want. Okay, so you can decide to leave it like this. Okay, so where's the text? The end, it has to disappear. It should come in from here. So let me cut it up to here. So something like this is okay. See, simple. So now let's give it a background. So what I'll do is I'll right click in new solid layer, then give it a ramp or gradient ramp. Okay, make it radar, then position this one in the middle here, then this one out. Okay, so what color to go for? The middle there, let's make it something like white. Then outer, let's go something like let me go something like a darker red or so. Since it's picture real, well, maybe I'll try to give it something like a color spectrum or a bit of multicolor. So I'll select something like adjustments layer, then type 4 what's that, 4 gradients, 4 color gradients, then apply it. Okay, 4 color gradients, then you apply it. Then maybe where it says normal, change it to something like screen. Let me check screen. Screen is not feeling screen, so let me, okay, so soft slice is okay. Okay, so you have something like this. You see? Nice. So this one, you can decide to, maybe let me see. So from here you can adjust the strips. You can adjust the strips. Okay. So the film reel, let's just move this one in a bit. Then this, which one is that? Let me scale this one to a bit more. Okay, so you have something like this. And go, then give you this one. You see? Okay. All right. So guys, so this is just a simple film strip template. Okay, a simple film strip template. You can insert videos or pictures in. All right, simple. All right. So when creating it, trying to design the end well. All right, Because I don't want us to waste too much time on this, that's why I decided to place it randomly for you to understand how it works. Okay, if you look at the example that I shown at the beginning, you see at least I place a bit of touches to it. Okay, all right, so guys, this comes to the end of our film strip video template animation. Okay, see you next time.